International Relations and Cooperation Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor has opened the BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting in Cape Town. The gathering takes place as the warrant of arrest against Russian President Vladimir Putin continues to overshadow the upcoming BRICS summit that's scheduled to take place here in South Africa in August. Now, DECO has gazetted diplomatic immunity and privileges for the upcoming meeting, but has explained that it doesn't override any warrant that may be issued by an international tribunal. Some people are now saying the move was a clear attempt to pave the way for Putin to travel to the country despite the ICC warrant for his arrest over alleged war crimes in the Ukraine. Now, senior reporter Ayesha Ismail is joining us now from Cape Town to tell us more about this story. Ayesha, good evening. Welcome to today. You were at the BRICS gathering in Cape Town. What has come out of it so far? What has Minister Naledi Pandor focused on?
Well, Dan, Minister Naledi Pandor has welcomed her BRICS counterparts, and when we talk about BRICS, we're talking about Brazil, Russia, India, China, and of course South Africa. So the ministers of foreign affairs are all meeting here, but I'm going to ask my colleague Mario Pedro just to pan across from where I am standing while I'm going to talk to you about what's happening here at the summit being held at the 12 Apostles in Camps Bay. Just have a look at the beautiful sea, and of course you're going to be able to witness that beautiful sunset here in Camps Bay, something that I guess you sitting in Johannesburg don't get the privilege of witnessing often enough. But yes, back to the summit. Of course, the gathering started today. The ministers of foreign affairs are all locked in a meeting right now. They're talking, of course, about sustainable development, not only sustainable development within the BRICS countries, but also across the African continent. And Dan, yesterday, during President Cyril Ramaphosa's, during the presidency's budget vote, he did talk about the fact that he had invited other African leaders to attend the summit. He was saying that South Africa's membership, and of course we know that we're chairing the summit of the BRICS countries this year. He says that our membership is not only meant to benefit South Africa, but the entire African continent. But this is what Minister Naledi Pandor had to say when she welcomed her BRICS counterparts earlier today.
Our vision of BRICS reflects South Africa's principled position that we advance in partnership with others. We move forward with the African continent and the global south, and that no one must be left behind. Our discussions today will therefore focus on opportunities to strengthening and transforming global governance systems. We will also explore synergies between BRICS and the G20 in a multipolar world. We will look forward to solutions for sustainable and inclusive global economic recovery, and hope to foster an environment of peace and development. We will also explore opportunities for de-risking our BRICS institutions in the current financial landscape, and look to bring fairness to global financial systems toward a world with less poverty, less inequality, and more focus on development. And will reflect on partnerships and preparations between the BRICS 15th summit, which will be held in Johannesburg this year, not in Durban, Johannesburg.
Well, there's one big question, Ayesha, I guess the minister would not escape, that's overshadowing the preparations of the country to host the summit in August, and that is whether or not Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, will be attending this heads of state summit here in the country in August. We know, of course, that publicly the Russians themselves have not really said anything about this. What did the minister say?
Well, when the minister addressed a gathering of journalists before she opened the summit, she was bombarded with questions, and almost all of them were about whether Vladimir Putin would be attending the summit in August in Johannesburg. And she made it very clear that that is not a decision for her to make. She said that she was also not aware of any arrangements being made for him to attend or not to attend. She was then pushed and asked whether he would be able to attend virtually. And she was saying that that is perhaps a question that should be directed at President Cyril Ramaphosa, but that she was not aware of any discussions of that nature. But this is how she responded to the questions from international journalists about whether Vladimir Putin will be attending the summit in Johannesburg in August.
The South African government is currently looking at what the various legal options are with respect to this matter. And I have indicated that it is something I believe the President would be the best person to speak about once they have reached a conclusion. Obligations are clear, but the answer is not fudged. The answer is the President will indicate what the final position of South Africa is. As matters stand at present, an invitation has been issued to all heads of state of the 5 BRICS countries.
Dr. Naledi Pandor, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa, ending that update from Ayesha Ismail.